Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being truly well-informed. Today we're embarking on, well, a fascinating journey. We're going into the profound insights of the Iranian philosopher Shahab al-Din Yahya ibn Habash Suhrawardi. Now, this is episode 8 of 13 in our Wisdom Unveiled series, and it draws directly from some really insightful conversations between Dr. Ibrahim Dinani and Dr. Ismail Mansouri Larijani. Before we jump in, a quick important note for you, our listener.
Yes, this entire deep dive is essentially a translation and reproduction of those very conversations with these Iranian philosophers. And, as with any translation, some concepts or details, they might not be fully conveyed. Perfect.
Right. So we do apologize in advance for any discrepancies. And honestly, your feedback, any suggestions for improvement, they're always most welcome. Okay, so our mission today, we want to unpack Suhrawardi's really unique understanding of dreams and also the very nature of the soul itself and how these ideas, well, how they illuminate a path towards enduring perception and even eternal life. Okay, let's dive in. So when most of us think about dreams, we picture maybe jumbled thoughts, unconscious wishes, maybe just random brain activity. But Suhrawardi, in his foundational work, the Partenameh, that's the Treatise of Light, he offers something radically different. He talks about the philosophical essence of sleep, this withdrawal of the soul. What does he mean by that exactly? Is it like the soul's in prison?
No, not at all, actually. For Suhrawardi, sleep is profoundly philosophical. It's a fundamental state. He defines it as the withdrawal of the soul from the outer to the inner realm. That's inibasir, oro, az zahir dark batan. And it's really crucial to get this. Inhibas doesn't mean imprisonment or being trapped. Quite the opposite. It signifies detachment, a deliberate letting go of attachments.
Ah, detachment. Okay.
Yeah, think of it as the soul naturally stepping back from the phenomenal world, choosing to recede inward. During sleep, our consciousness largely disengages from all the noise, the constant clamor of worldly concerns. Our external senses, sight, hearing, touch, they become mostly inactive.
Really? You're not getting that constant input.
Exactly. We're no longer bombarded by the immediate external world. So Suhrawardi sees this not just as the body resting. He sees it as a genuine leaving of the phenomenal world. It allows the soul to turn inward. And this interpretation isn't just some isolated idea about sleep. It's deeply rooted in his whole philosophical system, particularly his illuminationist philosophy, Hikmat al-Ishraq. Yeah, it's a key example of how his entire way of thinking sheds light on even everyday things, showing us, profound meaning where we might least expect it.
Okay, that makes perfect sense then. Sleep isn't just rest, it's a philosophical withdrawal, a deliberate act by the soul. But to really get this, we need to understand what this soul is for Suhrawardi. And maybe more importantly, how does it know anything when it's detached from the outside world? How does this idea of the soul withdrawing in sleep connect back to his fundamental concept of Ilm Huduri, knowledge by presence?
Right. This is absolutely foundational for Suhrawardi. Ilm Huduri is paramount. He basically says that true knowledge is presence. Now, this isn't just like a different definition. It's a complete paradigm shift from how we usually think about learning or knowing something.
How so?
Well, it suggests that deep understanding isn't about collecting facts about something or even forming a mental image of it. It's about a direct, unmediated being with the known.
Being with it.
Yes. Imagine if you could truly feel a concept or an object's essence instead of just thinking about it or seeing it indirectly. That's the kind of insight he's pointing towards. He gives a couple of really helpful analogies to clarify this. Think about self-awareness. You never truly forget I or myself, do you?
No, I guess not. Even if you lost your memory.
Exactly. Even if you suffered amnesia, forgot your name, your clothes, where you live, that inner sense of I remains present to you, that direct, undeniable self-awareness. That is Ilm Huduri.
Oh, okay.
There's no image or concept of yourself that gets in the way. You are present to yourself, you exist, and you know you exist directly. Or another example, when we know an object, say this table, we know it through a mental image we form, right? But how do we know that mental image itself? We don't form another image of the image, do we?
No, that would be endless.
Right. We know the mental image directly by presence. That internal image is present to us. So this is what he means when he says the very essence of knowledge at its deepest level is pure presence. And this ties directly into the nature of the rational soul, the nafs natika. For Suhrawardi, the soul in its essence is present to itself.
Yeah.
Unlike physical bodies. Bodies have parts, dimensions, weight. They're made of atoms far apart from each other.
Right, divisible.
Exactly. The soul is unified. It has no dimension, no parts. It's a state of pure presence, indivisible. He connects this to our human state, where this fascinating mix of gaib, the unseen, and shahadat, the seen, of the physical, the malak, and the spiritual, the malakut.
Malak and malakut. Yeah.
Our body is malaki, physical. But our deeper self, the soul, it resonates with the malakuti realm, a realm of pure, unburdened presence. This is really the philosophical groundwork for understanding the soul's unique abilities, including its profound experiences in dreams, when it detaches from the physical.
That distinction, the soul as pure presence versus the body having parts, that really clarifies things. It also makes me think about Suhrawardi's unique take on the soul as lightener, especially compared to other philosophers who might focus more on existence as the main thing. What's so distinctive about his light philosophy? How does that connect to the soul knowing things?
That's a great question. Suhrawardi absolutely prefers light over existence as his primary concept. And that's a significant shift from, say, Ibn Sina or Mulla Sadra, who really put existence front and center.
Right.
For Suhrawardi, light means that which is self-manifesting. It reveals itself, and by doing so, it makes other things manifest. It illuminates them. In his system, it works kind of like how existence works for others, but it adds this powerful, metaphorical, even spiritual dimension. Pure light reveals itself and everything else. And he has this fascinating insight here.
Right.
Pure light itself isn't visible, and pure darkness isn't visible either.
What do you mean?
Well, think about trying to stare directly at the sun. You can't really see the pure light, can you? You see its effects, how it lights things up.
Okay, yeah.
And total darkness, absolute blackness, is just an absence. You perceive nothing. What we do perceive, what's actually visible to us, is always what's between light and darkness, the illuminated object. The play of shadow and light.
Ah, the interplay.
Exactly. And Suhrawardi applies this not just physically, but intellectually and spiritually too. The deepest truths aren't things we grab directly. Rather, they illuminate everything else, letting us see reality more clearly. And he connects this directly to the rational soul. The soul, because it's joined with the physical body, has both a luminous aspect, pure, abstract, and a darker aspect, which is its connection to the body, its worldly ties.
So it's mixed.
It's mixed in its embodied state, yes. This union creates the complex human experience we all have. Now, in sleep, as the soul's attachments to the body and the outside world lessen as they recede, its luminous, transcendent aspect becomes more pronounced. It's less clouded by the, let's say, darkness of physical limitations.
Okay.
This heightened luminosity lets the soul become more receptive. It can receive reflections or light and war from the pure world of light, the alami nur or malakut. It's almost like the static from the physical world clears, And the soul's own brightness can pick up signals from a higher realm, bringing these profound insights.
So a sleep is like tuning the soul to receive these higher frequencies of light, these insights. How does our very human mind actually make sense of them once they arrive? What's the mechanism that turns these pure lights into something we even remember as a dream? This must be where the common sense, the hissi mushtarak, plays a big part, right?
Absolutely crucial. The hissi mushtarak, or fantasia as the Greeks called it, is truly vital in Suhrawardi's system. He points it out as a unique human sense, and it has this dual, really significant function. First, it synthesizes all the different data coming from our senses. Think of a sugar cube again. Your eyes see white, your tongue tastes sweet, your hand feels weight and texture. Each sense gives isolated data.
Right, separate inputs.
The hissi mushtarak is the internal faculty that pulls all those separate perceptions together into one single unified understanding, sugar cube. It connects white and sweet and heavy to the same thing. It creates that whole picture.
Okay, the integrator.
Exactly. But secondly, and this is profound, hissi mushtarak acts as a vital bridge between the inner and outer realms. It doesn't just process external sensory stuff. It also takes information from the outside world and integrates it with insights, with those lights received from the inner spiritual realm, the Alamobatan.
Wow. Okay, so it works both ways.
It's a conduit, a processing center for both outward perceptions and inward illuminations. So in sleep, especially for a soul that's spiritually refined, one that's cultivated a connection to the unseen, the hissi mushtarak becomes particularly active. It blends these external impressions, maybe memories, symbols from waking life, with the internal lights coming from malakut.
And that's what makes dreams meaningful.
Precisely. It's the unique space where the soul's detachment allows it to receive deeper insights, and the hissi mushtarak then works to make sense of these, multifaceted reflections.
Right.
It translates that abstract spiritual light into a coherent dream narrative, even if it's often symbolic.
That is an incredibly intricate system. So if the Hissi Mushtarak is blending these inner and outer lights, what does Suhrawardi say about the quality of the dreams themselves? What really separates a true dream, a ruya-i sadiqa, from just, I don't know, confused fantasy or wishful thinking?
Suhrawardi is very, very firm on this point. The authenticity, the truthfulness of a dream, it depends almost entirely on the character and the spiritual purity of the dreamer.
Ah, so it's about the person dreaming.
Completely. Not all dreams are created equal. And certainly not all of them hold significant meaning or come from that deeper source of light. He actually outlines very specific criteria for a soul that's capable of having these true dreams. Such a soul needs to be engaged in constant contemplation of Malakut, the spiritual realm. It has to practice abstinence from excessive sensory pleasures, perform regular night prayers, namazi shab, maintain vigilance during the night, engage in extensive recitation of divine revelation like the Quran, and maybe most importantly, it requires refining the inner self, taltafi sir, through subtle, profound thoughts and contemplation.
So it requires real spiritual discipline.
Yes. These practices basically prepare the soul. They make it clear and receptive, able to receive authentic spiritual insights without distortion. And he starkly contrasts these true dreams. Think of Prophet Abraham's dream about sacrificing his son. Starkly contrasts them with what he calls confused dreams, azgasi alam, or just mere imaginings, tawahumat.
Confused dreams, like anxiety dreams, maybe?
Could be. The dreams of prophets are authentic because their souls are pure, transparent, largely detached from worldly noise. They allow for clear reception of divine truths. Ordinary dreams, though, often lack real spiritual meaning. They get muddled by our daily anxieties, our physical state, or just random mental chatter. And crucially for Suhrawardi, these ordinary dreams, they hold no juridical or legal authority in Islamic law.
Right. You can't base a legal ruling on a dream.
Exactly. A dream, for most people, isn't a reliable source of religious guidance or obligation.
That's a really powerful distinction. The quality of the dream reflecting the quality of the soul. And this connection, the soul's refinement, its ability to perceive higher truths. It reminds me of our previous deep dives in this series about cultivating divine character. How does this connect to the concept of pleasure, lezet, and maybe the bigger picture? What happens after this life? What are the ultimate stakes Suhrawardi's laying out here?
This is precisely where Suhrawardi ties it all together. And it has profound implications for how we should live right now. He explains that true pleasure resides in unity, in focus, concentration. He calls it jam.
Jam, unity.
Yes. And he contrasts this with distraction, scatteredness, being pulled in a million directions. Think about tasting your favorite food.
Yeah.
The more focused you are, the more present you are, the more intensely you experience and enjoy its flavor.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're distracted, you barely taste it.
Right. Or imagine trying to listen to your favorite music in a really noisy room. You hear it, but you're not experiencing it fully. Not until the distractions fade, you can just be with the music.
Okay, I get that. Concentration equals deeper experience.
He applies this directly to the afterlife. After we separate from the body, a perfect, complete soul like that of the prophets and saints experiences infinite pleasure. But this pleasure doesn't come from outside rewards. It comes from its own perfection. Because the scatteredness, the limitations of this world are gone. The soul is fully present to its own perfected essence. And that brings ultimate joy, lazat. Conversely, an imperfect soul, a deficient one, once the scatteredness of this world ends, it will suffer immensely.
Why?
From its own imperfections, its own lack of unity. It will be starkly, unavoidably present to its own shortcomings. And that presence becomes an agonizing source of pain.
Wow. So this takes us right back full circle to that broader theme from our Wisdom Unveiled series, how cultivating divine character, kuluk, through deep knowing, idrak or marifat, and right action, amal, how that leads to immortality, javedangi. It really sounds like Suhrawardi is giving us a kind of blueprint for eternity here.
Precisely. Suhrawardi emphasizes that true spiritual knowledge, this idrak, this marifat, it's inherently permanent. Unlike, physical things we own or fleeting experiences, a true grasp of reality, of divine truths, it becomes an indelible part of the soul's eternal reality.
It shapes the soul itself.
It contributes to its very being in the hereafter.
Yeah.
This life, therefore, he describes it as the cultivation field, the keshtar.
The cultivation field for the afterlife.
Exactly. What we sow here in terms of our knowledge, our character, that's what we will reap eternally. He even references that powerful Quranic verse, whoever is blind in this world will be blind in the hereafter and even more astray.
And blind here doesn't mean physically blind.
No, no, it refers to jahalat,
Yeah.
a profound ignorance, specifically the lack of marifat, a spiritual blindness to deeper realities, to God, to the true nature of the soul. And that state in the hereafter, it leads to this terrifying living death, a state devoid of true life where one neither truly lives nor truly dies, just perpetually experiences the consequences of their spiritual lack.
That's incredibly stark. It sounds like Suhrawardi, through all these different threads, dreams, knowledge, light, pleasure, is really underscoring an incredible urgency about this life,
Right.
recognizing its immense value. And we've often talked about the Prophet Muhammad as the ultimate example of this embodied divine character, this kuluk, whose words are seen as absolute, a direct channel offering a universal model for us all.
Yes, the prophet is the perfected mirror, the ultimate example of a soul fully present, fully refined. And this life, it is indeed incredibly precious. It's not a dress rehearsal, it's not a trial run, it is the primary time, the crucial opportunity for cultivating spiritual knowledge and refining our character. This is the moment to gain that marifat of God, His signs, the prophets, our spiritual guides. We really have to seize this chance because it shapes our eternal reality.
So wrapping this all up, what does this all mean for us right now listening to this?
Well, maybe a thought to leave you with. If the soul, even when we're awake, can be in a state of presence that's almost like sleep for others,
Mm-hmm.
how much of your own waking life are you truly present? And what eternal reality are you cultivating right now?
A truly powerful question to reflect on. We've certainly had a profound deep dive today, exploring Suhrawardi's unique insights into dreams, the soul's true nature, and how cultivating our inner character is the very path to an enduring eternal existence. His guidance seems clear. True life isn't just about avoiding death. It's about a profound transformation of how we perceive, how we know, and how we act, rooted in the divine. Thank you for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time, stay curious.